How to force yourself to take immediate action. Don't leave anything for later. Later the coffee gets cold. Later you lose interest. Later the day turns into night. Later people grow up, grow old, and life goes by. You are left with nothing but a crushing weight of regret, staring at the floor, wondering why you didn't take that chance when you had it. If you do not leave your past in the past, it will completely destroy your future. Live for what today has to offer, not what yesterday has taken away. Welcome to the power of now. How to force yourself to take immediate action. This is not a passive motivational speech. This is a manual for psychological execution. If you are waiting for the perfect moment, hear this truth. The perfect moment does not exist. It is a mirage designed by your fear to keep you safe, comfortable, and completely average. In this comprehensive audiobook, we will dismantle the habit of procrastination chapter by chapter. We will look at the science, the strategies, and the brutal reality of time. Lock your focus into this audio track. Listen to it daily. Your future is being written right now. Part 1. The anatomy of hesitation and the mirage of later. We treat the word later as an innocent, logical compromise. We tell ourselves that delaying a difficult task by a few hours, a few days, or a week is a standard part of time management. But let us look at the brutal truth under a microscope. Later is a psychological graveyard. It is the place where human potential goes to rot. Every single time you utter the phrase, "I'll do it later," you aren't just rearranging your schedule. You are making a structural statement to your subconscious mind. You are declaring that the comfort of avoidance in this exact moment is worth more than the fulfillment of your long-term dreams. When you postpone an action, your brain experiences a brief, deceptive hit of relief. The stress of having to step into the uncomfortable arena of work evaporates, replaced by a warm sense of safety. But this safety is an illusion. The task hasn't disappeared. It has simply been transformed into an emotional debt that you will have to pay later with interest. That uncompleted report, that uninitiated workout, or that difficult conversation remains alive in the back of your brain as an open loop. This loop consumes your unconscious processing power, generating a low-level, continuous background static of guilt, anxiety, and mental fatigue. By the time you finally force yourself to sit down and face the task, you are already mentally drained from the sheer weight of having avoided it. Think deeply about how this habit compounds over a lifetime. If you postpone your life by just 2 hours every single day, you are throwing away over 700 hours of execution every single year. Over a decade, that amounts to thousands of hours of lost mastery. You are essentially paying a massive tax on your existence, all because you refuse to step through the gateway of initial discomfort. The mirage of later tells you that tomorrow you will have more energy, more clarity, more motivation, and better focus. But tomorrow is nothing more than a blank canvas that will be painted with the exact same habits you practice today. If you are a procrastinator today, you will be a procrastinator tomorrow, unless you disrupt the pattern right here, right now. To break free from the anatomy of hesitation, you must learn to recognize the physical sensation of the stall. It usually starts with a subtle shift in your physiology, a tightening in your chest, an aimless look around the room, or a sudden, urgent desire to clean your desk or check your phone. This is your survival brain trying to hijack your rational mind. It is trying to pull you away from the friction of growth and push you toward the comfort of passive consumption. The moment you notice this pull, you cannot afford to debate it. You cannot negotiate with your laziness. Negotiation is the first step toward surrender. You must instantly close the gap between your thought and your physical action. If you think about writing, your fingers must hit the keyboard. If you think about moving, your feet must hit the floor. Force the momentum before your brain can construct a logical argument for why you should wait. Part 2. The dopamine trap. How your brain secretly prefers failure. To master immediate action, you must understand the neurological biological machinery operating beneath your skull. At the center of your struggle with execution sits a powerful neurotransmitter called dopamine. For decades, popular culture has mistakenly labeled dopamine as the molecule of pleasure. But modern neuroscience reveals a far more sinister truth. Dopamine is the molecule of anticipation, craving, and pursuit. It does not care about the satisfaction of a completed goal. It cares exclusively about the thrill of the hunt. Your brain releases dopamine when it expects a reward, creating a deep neural drive that forces you to act. The danger is that your primitive brain cannot distinguish between a high-value, long-term reward and a cheap, immediate digital hit. This is the foundation of the dopamine trap. When you are faced with a challenging task, such as studying dense material, writing code, or building a business infrastructure, the reward is heavily delayed. Your brain looks at the weeks or months of effort required to harvest that reward, and it runs a quick subconscious calculation. It realizes that the return on investment is far away, so it refuses to release the necessary neurochemical drive to get you started. In that exact moment of hesitation, your phone sits less than 12 inches away from your right hand. Your primitive brain knows that a single click on a social media app will instantly flood your system with cheap, effortless dopamine. It chooses the path of least resistance, hijacking your focus and leaving your grand ambitions completely stranded. What most people do not realize is that your brain can actually learn to prefer the cycle of failure and rescue. When you procrastinate, you feel guilty. To escape that guilt, you seek immediate comfort through distractions. This teaches your neural pathways a highly destructive lesson. Whenever life gets uncomfortable, run away to get a reward. Over time, you build a thick, hyper-reinforced highway in your brain that automates the process of quitting. You become addicted to the comfort of the escape rather than the pride of the victory. You find yourself trapped in a vicious loop where you plan grand goals in the morning, experience friction in the afternoon, run away to digital distractions by evening, and fall asleep drowning in self-loathing, only to repeat the cycle tomorrow. To shatter this addiction to avoidance, you must consciously recalibrate your internal reward architecture. You have to make the immediate act of hesitation feel incredibly painful, while making the immediate act of execution feel deeply rewarding. This requires a process known as dopamine fasting and friction management. If you want to force yourself into action, you must make distractions highly inconvenient. If your phone is in another room inside a locked drawer, your brain runs the calculation and realizes that escaping requires too much physical effort. With the cheap escape route blocked, your mind is forced to settle down and confront the task at hand. You must learn to find your neurochemical satisfaction not in the finish line, but in the gritty, unsexy process of manual labor. Train your brain to view the daily friction of work as the ultimate reward. Part 3. The absolute law of radical personal responsibility. The primary currency of a weak mind is the excuse. Excuses are the comforting, self-deluding stories we construct to protect our egos from our own lack of discipline. We look at our uncompleted goals and say, "I am too tired. The economy is bad. I don't have enough capital, or my family doesn't support me." These statements may contain elements of truth, but the moment you use them to justify your inaction, you are voluntarily surrendering your personal freedom. You are declaring to the universe that you are a passive victim of your external environment, completely powerless to shape your own destiny. If you want to force yourself to take immediate action, you must adopt the absolute law of radical personal responsibility. Radical responsibility means accepting a simple, uncompromising truth. Everything in your current life, your financial status, your physical fitness, your mental health, and your career trajectory, is the direct result of the choices you have made and the choices you continue to make today. It does not matter how unfair your upbringing was. It does not matter how many times you have been wronged, betrayed, or dealt a bad hand by circumstances. Blaming external factors changes absolutely nothing about your reality. It does not pay your bills, it does not build your business, and it certainly does not build your character. The moment you stop pointing fingers outward and begin looking directly in the mirror, your true transformation begins. You realize that if your life is messy, you are the one who allowed it to become messy, which means you are the only one who can clean it up. This shift in perspective is incredibly heavy, but it is also the most liberating realization a human being can experience. When you take full ownership of your failures, you simultaneously take full ownership of your future power. You transition from a passive spectator in the audience to the active director of the script. If you lack the necessary skills, it is your responsibility to acquire them. If you lack the necessary time, it is your responsibility to wake up 2 hours earlier and carve it out. If you are surrounded by toxic, unsupportive people, it is your responsibility to sever those connections and seek an elevated circle. There are no heroes coming to rescue you. There is no perfect cosmic event that will make your journey smooth. You are entirely on your own, and your execution is the only weapon you possess. To apply this law practically every single day, you must ruthlessly audit your internal monologue. The next time you find yourself about to delay a critical task, pay close attention to the narrative your mind is building. If your brain says, "I cannot work today because I am exhausted," forcefully interrupt that thought. Reframe it under the law of radical responsibility. I am choosing to delay my work because I value short-term comfort more than my long-term financial freedom. By stripping away the protective layer of the excuse and forcing yourself to state the raw, ugly truth of your choice, the discomfort becomes unbearable. You will find it impossible to sit passively in your laziness when you explicitly admit to yourself that you are actively choosing to fail. Take ownership, pick up the heavy tools of discipline, and move. Part 4. Overcoming analysis paralysis and the perfectionism shield. One of the most dangerous, highly sophisticated forms of procrastination masquerades as intelligent behavior. It is called analysis paralysis, and it is frequently weaponized by a psychological defense mechanism known as perfectionism. Perfectionists love to tell themselves that they aren't starting their project because they are still doing vital research, collecting critical data, drafting ideal blueprints, or waiting for the absolute right conditions to guarantee success. They buy more books, register for more online courses, and attend endless seminars. But if we pull back the curtain, we find that this constant preparation is nothing more than a coward's shield. It is a socially acceptable way to look incredibly busy while completely avoiding the terrifying risk of real-world judgment and failure. The brutal reality of execution is that knowledge without action is entirely useless. You can read 1,000 books on swimming, but the moment you jump into deep water, that theoretical data will not keep you afloat. Only physical execution will. The human mind uses perfectionism to stay safe inside the comfortable realm of thoughts and ideas, where mistakes do not exist. But out in the cold arena of action, things are chaotic, unpredictable, and highly messy. Your first video will likely get low views. Your first product might face criticism. Your initial attempts at a new skill will feel clumsy and awkward. Perfectionism cannot handle this bruising reality, so it forces you to stay in a permanent state of planning. It robs you of the vital experiences that only come from falling down, getting back up, and adjusting your course in real time. You must internalize the law of high-velocity execution. Imperfect action taken today will always completely destroy a perfect plan that stays sitting on your desk next week. The universe does not reward the smartest person in the room. It rewards the person who can close the gap between an idea and its physical deployment fastest. High performers do not wait to feel completely ready because they understand that readiness is an illusion. You only become ready after you have been inside the fire of execution for a sustained period. Every mistake you make out in the open is an essential data point that refines your strategy. Every failure is a tuition fee that builds your internal resilience. By delaying your launch in the pursuit of perfection, you are actively starving yourself of the very lessons required to achieve mastery. To shatter analysis paralysis instantly, you must adopt the rule of the minimum viable action. When faced with a massive, intimidating goal that causes your mind to spin into overthinking, forcefully cut away 90% of the complexity. Do not think about building the entire website. Focus exclusively on writing one paragraph of text for the landing page. Do not think about a grueling 2-hour workout. Focus entirely on putting on your running shoes and walking out your front door. Strip away the pressure of making it good and focus entirely on making it exist. A sloppy, flawed, imperfect draft can be edited, refined, and optimized over time. But a blank page, a ghost project, or an unexecuted idea can never be improved. Drop the perfectionist shield, accept the chaotic mess of growth, and throw yourself headfirst into immediate action. Part 5. The Tactical Blueprint. The 2-minute rule and micro-execution. When we look at our primary goals, whether it is saving $10,000, mastering a complex language, or building an elite physical physique, the sheer scale of the journey can feel deeply overwhelming. The human brain is naturally engineered to conserve energy and avoid immense friction. When it looks up at the massive mountain of work required to cross the finish line, the mental load becomes heavy, causing immediate psychological paralysis. To bypass this hardwired biological resistance, you must deploy the tactical blueprint of micro-execution. You must master the art of shrinking the target until it becomes mentally impossible for your brain to construct an excuse to avoid it. The most powerful weapon in this tactical blueprint is the famous 2-minute rule. The core philosophy of this rule is simple. When you are facing a task that you are actively avoiding, commit to performing that task for just 2 measly minutes. If you are putting off reading a dense, professional book, don't tell yourself you need to finish a chapter. Tell yourself you are going to open the book and read for exactly 120 seconds. If you are avoiding a massive pile of administrative paperwork, commit entirely to sorting just one single sheet. The psychological secret behind this technique is that it targets the hardest part of any human endeavor, the friction of starting. Once you overcome the initial inertia and begin the physical movement, your brain's internal chemistry shifts. The momentum takes over, and you almost always find yourself continuing far past the 2-minute mark. Micro-execution requires you to aggressively break your grand calendar down into tightly isolated, bite-sized daily modules. Stop looking at your project as a giant, 3-month monumental struggle. Instead, view your life through a micro-lens. What is the single, highest priority action you can execute in the next 20 minutes? Block out everything else. Silence your notifications, lock your office door, clear your physical desk, and channel your entire existence into that solitary micro-window of time. By treating your day as a sequence of small, independent battles rather than an exhausting, endless war, you remove the heavy psychological dread that fuels procrastination. You build a steady, reliable rhythm where work stops feeling like a mountain and starts feeling like a series of simple, highly achievable steps. Remember, big achievements are never the result of sudden, massive bursts of heroic effort. They are the inevitable byproduct of hundreds of tiny, unsexy, micro-actions stacked flawlessly on top of each other day after day. A house is built one individual brick at a time. If you focus on laying a single brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid every morning, before you know it, you have built a towering fortress. Stop looking at the distant horizon. Stop stressing over the grand total and master the art of the immediate micro-step. When you control the next 2 minutes, you control your entire destiny. Part 6. The Science of Momentum. Stacking small wins daily. In the realm of human high performance, momentum is your ultimate spiritual currency. When you have momentum, work feels effortless, creativity flows naturally, and challenges feel like exciting puzzles to solve. But when you lose momentum, even the simplest task, like replying to an email or waking up on time, feels like a crushing weight. Momentum is governed by deep neurobiological laws. Every time you successfully complete a task, no matter how tiny or insignificant it may seem, your brain's reward system experiences a subtle pulse of dopamine. This pulse acts as a form of positive reinforcement, instantly increasing your self-confidence and lowering your mental resistance for the next task. Success breeds success, and action breeds more action. To build an elite lifestyle of execution, you must master the art of intentional momentum stacking. This means structuring your morning so that you score immediate, effortless victories within the first 60 minutes of waking up. If your alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and you immediately hit the snooze button, you have started your day with a definitive psychological loss. You have permitted your laziness to defeat your discipline before your feet have even touched the floor. This loss sets a negative tone for the hours ahead, making procrastination the natural choice. But if you launch yourself out of bed the exact second the alarm rings, make your bed perfectly, drink a glass of water, and review your daily targets, you have stacked 3 rapid wins in a row. Your brain is now swimming in a state of high capability, primed to attack the larger, more difficult tasks waiting on your schedule. You must maintain a physical or digital momentum tracker to visualize your daily consistency. When you rely solely on your memory, it is easy for your mind to trick you into thinking you are doing well when you are actually slacking off. But when you maintain an unyielding habit checklist where you physically cross off your executed tasks, you create an external record of your discipline. Watching an unbroken chain of check marks build up over days and weeks creates an immense psychological desire to protect that streak. Your brain looks at the progress and says, "I have shown up for 14 days in a row. There is no way I am going to let laziness break the chain today." The visual data keeps you honest, focused, and deeply invested in your own consistency. Understand this fundamental law of the universe. Momentum is a double-edged sword that works in both directions. If you allow yourself to skip your routines for just one single day, you haven't just lost 24 hours of progress. You have actively fed your anti-momentum. You have reopened the doorway to hesitation. The second day you skip becomes twice as easy to skip as the first. This is how high achievers slowly slide back into mediocrity without even realizing it. Treat your momentum as your most sacred possession. Guard it with fanatical intensity. No matter how tired you feel, no matter how chaotic your day becomes, find a way to score at least one small win before the sun goes down. Keep the machine moving, stack the victories, and let the compounding force of momentum make you entirely unstoppable. Part 7. Constructing an uncompromising, no-excuses environment. Willpower is an incredibly fragile, finite resource. Most people fail to take immediate action because they rely entirely on their raw mental energy to force themselves to work. They sit down at a desk cluttered with old papers, with their phone buzzing next to their hand, with 3 entertainment tabs open on their computer screen, and they wonder why they lack the motivation to execute. This is a completely losing strategy. Your environment will always speak louder than your intentions. If your workspace is engineered for distraction, your primitive brain will eventually lose the battle of willpower every single time. High-velocity execution is not about white-knuckling your way through temptation. It is about structuring an environment where distraction is functionally impossible. To build an uncompromising, no-excuses environment, you must apply the law of spatial design. Your physical space must serve as a sacred temple of focus. Dedicate a specific desk, chair, or room exclusively to high-value execution. When you step into this zone, there is a strict, non-negotiable rule. No casual web browsing, no texting, no snacking, and no leisure. Over time, your brain builds a deep classical conditioning pathway between that physical space and the state of deep work. The moment your body sits in that chair, your neural patterns automatically shift into focus mode because they associate that space with intense production. If you need to rest or play, physically leave the zone. Never pollute your workspace with laziness. Next, you must conduct a ruthless digital sweep. Your smartphone is the single greatest focus-killing device ever invented, explicitly engineered by elite software developers to hijack your attention span for profit. If your phone is visible on your desk, even if it is turned completely silent and face down, a portion of your cognitive capacity is actively spent resisting the urge to pick it up. This is a scientific fact. When it is time to work, your phone must be placed completely out of sight and out of reach. In another room, inside a backpack, or inside a timed lockbox. Use website blockers to completely freeze access to news sites, social networks, and entertainment channels during your deep work hours. Build an absolute digital fortress around your mind. Finally, you must audit the human element of your environment. Excuses thrive in spaces where they are widely accepted, validated, and encouraged. If your close inner circle consists of individuals who routinely blame the world for their problems, spend their weekends drinking away their potential, and mock your ambitions, you are fighting an uphill battle. You absorb the energy, the habits, and the standards of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Seek out an uncompromising community of executors, mentors, peers, and partners who hold you to a brutal standard of accountability. Surround yourself with people who make you feel deeply uncomfortable about staying in one place. When your environment demands excellence, immediate action stops being an effort and becomes your default survival mechanism. Part 8. The future-free mindset, severing the chains of anxiety. We live in a culture that completely idolizes hyper-preparation, long-term forecasting, and endless forward planning. While strategic vision has its place, an extreme obsession with the future is one of the most common, hidden causes of total execution paralysis. When you are constantly staring at the massive expanse of the future, your mind naturally populates that blank canvas with endless hypothetical problems, disasters, and what-if scenarios. You worry about whether your business will be profitable in 2 years, whether people will judge your work next month, or whether you have what it takes to survive the upcoming economic shift. This constant forward-looking creates a state of chronic mental anxiety that completely freezes your ability to act today. To break this paralyzing pattern, you must master the psychological breakthrough of the future-free mindset. This does not mean you abandon your life goals or live recklessly without a plan. It means you make a deliberate, conscious decision to completely detach your emotional peace, your self-worth, and your daily identity from a future outcome. You pull your scattered energy out of the distant horizon and anchor it entirely within the borders of the current hour. You adopt the philosophy of the spiritual warrior. The future is a phantom, a pure psychological projection that does not exist. The only place where reality is happening, where change can be executed, and where power actually resides is right here in the immediate now. When you operate with a future-free mindset, the crushing weight of expectation completely drops off your shoulders. You stop putting immense pressure on today's work to secure tomorrow's destiny. If you are writing a book, you stop stressing over whether it will be a bestseller. You focus entirely on making the next sentence as clear and powerful as possible. If you are building a physical body, you stop obsessing over the scale. You focus completely on the execution of the next repetition. By shifting your attention away from the destination and focusing purely on the quality of the immediate stroke, your execution reaches an elite state of flow. You learn to fall in love with the unsexy process of daily craftsmanship, letting the long-term results take care of themselves. This mindset builds an extraordinary level of psychological resilience. When a sudden crisis, an unexpected failure, or a chaotic life event completely shatters your long-term plans, a future-obsessed person collapses into depression and despair because their whole identity was anchored to that specific timeline. But a future-free executor remains steady. You look at the rubble, adjust your stance, and ask, what is the most productive action I can execute in the next 60 seconds? You cannot be defeated by the unpredictability of tomorrow when your focus is locked into dominating the current moment. Sever the chains of future anxiety, ground your feet into the concrete of today, and take immediate action. Part 9. Eliminating digital static and emotional distractions. The digital age has brought us infinite access to information. but it has simultaneously introduced an unprecedented epidemic of chronic cognitive fragmentation. The average human being today moves through life in a state of continuous partial attention. We are constantly bombarded by a relentless stream of digital static. Push notifications, text messages, breaking news alerts, and algorithmically generated content designed to fracture our focus. Every single time your attention is broken by a notification, it takes an average of 23 minutes for your brain to regain its original state of deep focus. This means that if you check your phone just 3 times an hour, your brain is living in a permanent state of cognitive chaos, completely incapable of accessing deep analytical power. To force yourself into immediate, high-yield action, you must wage an aggressive war against digital static. You must transition from a passive consumer who is constantly manipulated by algorithms to a digital dictator who ruthlessly controls their input. Turn off every single non-human notification on your devices permanently. If an app does not represent an emergency from a real human being, it has absolutely no right to flash across your screen or make your pocket vibrate. Establish strict, bounded windows of time to check your communications. Do not start your morning by opening your email inbox or scrolling through group chats. When you do that, you are allowing the random requests and emotional states of the outside world to dictate your internal focus. Protect the early hours of your day like a sacred vault. Beyond the digital static, you must also confront the internal terrain of emotional distraction. Many people use procrastination as an unconscious coping mechanism to avoid facing negative emotions such as fear, boredom, loneliness, or self-doubt. When a task feels highly uncertain or challenging, your subconscious mind experiences a surge of emotional discomfort. To escape this feeling, it tricks you into seeking immediate comfort through trivial activities. Checking the news, organizing files, or eating food you don't need. You must learn to sit completely still with your emotional discomfort without running away. When you feel the sudden urge to abandon your work, take 3 deep breaths. Notice the emotion in your body without judgment, and remind yourself that discomfort is not a signal to stop. It is the physical sensation of your brain expanding its capabilities. True focus is an act of extreme exclusion. It requires you to say an absolute, uncompromising no to 1,000 good things so that you can say a fanatical yes to the one great thing that will move your life forward. Clear out the mental clutter, strip away the addictive urge to stay constantly connected to the digital matrix, and embrace the clean, quiet power of isolation. When you silence the external noise of the world, your internal vision becomes crystal clear. The friction of starting completely dissolves, and immediate action becomes the path of least resistance. Part 10. The final shift. Forging a permanent identity of execution. As we approach the final chapter of this masterclass, we must look past temporary tactics, rules, and hacks. The ultimate secret to permanent, effortless high performance does not look for external tricks. It requires a radical rewrite of your internal self-identity. Your subconscious mind will always force your physical actions to align completely with the deep story you believe about yourself. If your core identity is wrapped around the narrative of, "I am someone who struggles with procrastination," or "I am a lazy person who needs motivation to start," you will constantly find ways to sabotage your progress, no matter how many productivity apps you download. You cannot permanently outdiscipline a broken self-image. To achieve the final shift, you must consciously forge a permanent, ironclad identity of execution. You must stop viewing yourself as a passive spectator who is trying to become disciplined, and start declaring yourself as an active executor of reality. An executor does not wait for inspiration, because inspiration is a luxury for amateurs. An executor does not check the weather, look at their emotional state, or negotiate with their comfort. When the schedule says it is time to work, the work happens with absolute, mechanical certainty. You must treat your daily commitments to yourself as sacred, unbreakable laws. Every time you follow through on a difficult task, you add a massive layer of concrete to your self-trust. Every time you fulfill a promise to yourself, you permanently reinforce your identity of power. Look closely at your current life through the lens of time. This exact minute, this specific hour, is a non-renewable resource that is evaporating forever into history. The clock on the wall does not care about your grand plans, your good intentions, or the excuses you make to justify your delays. It keeps ticking forward with absolute, cold indifference. Later the coffee gets cold. Later the spark dies. Later the opportunity vanishes, and you are left standing in the dark, face to face with the ghost of the person you could have become. Do not let that be your legacy. Do not leave your potential sitting in the graveyard of someday. The time for waiting is permanently over. The absolute power to alter your path, to rebuild your financial future, to master your discipline, and to claim your greatness exists exclusively in the immediate choice you make in the next 60 seconds. Take full responsibility for your existence. Clear out the digital static, build your fortress of focus, shatter the comfortable shield of perfectionism, and throw your entire body into the fire of immediate action. Stop overthinking. Stop hesitating. Stop compromising. Open the book, hit the floor, launch the project, and force yourself to move right now. Your future is watching. Take action today.